Project Sapient is a podcast meant to engage our brothers and sisters in the law enforcement and military communities in conversations that we all know we need to have. All opinions you'll hear are our own, are protected by our First Amendment of the United States Constitution, and in no way reflect or are meant to reflect the opinion of any specific agency, officer, or service member. Some opinions may be controversial. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. What's up, Ayman?
What's up, dude?
What's going on?
I don't know, darkness, I guess. Whatever.
Why are you filled with darkness, man?
No,
We need
whatever,
fucking
dude.
sunshine and rainbows and shit.
Yeah, whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? You need a hug?
Yeah.
Give me a hug.
No,
hug.
no hugs.
Everybody just witnessed I asked to give him a hug and he said no. Guys, Project Sapient, we want to thank all of you for listening, everybody for subscribing. We want to thank our supporters, HavocJournal.com, GymJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, Eagle Eye Firearms MA, ODKit.com, and another one, GunTrack.app. That dude's pretty badass. We're going to have a lot of information coming up from him, GunTrack.app. So, Ayman.
Hey, buddy.
We're doing a pretty good episode this week.
Yeah. So it's one of my more recent episodes.
Yes.
Or one of my more recent articles from Havoc Journal. And by the way, still, shout out to those guys. Those guys are awesome.
Havoc is by far the best.
They're very, very, I mean, they're just awesome. I don't know what else I could say. But anyways, so I got to thinking, and it the true epidemic in policing is this false reporting. It drives us crazy.
Yes, it does.
And I mean, most times, unless you're in a specialty unit that is proactive and does whatever, a patrol officer responds to a lot of calls, especially if you're in a big city, medium-sized city. If you're in a smaller town, I know it's a little different.
Let me ask you,
Yep.
as a preface to this article, a true epidemic in policing, what made you, because I know you write from the heart,
Mm-hmm.
what made you think about writing about a true epidemic in policing, false reporting?
So it got to the point where I was at my police department and dealing with a situation where, you know, we get a bullshit complaint and all it was a neighbor dispute because the neighbor was building a fence and the fence was too close to the other guy's property. And the other neighbor wanted to report that his next door neighbor's a drug dealer. It's like, dude, what the fuck? So exactly. So and you know, so I dwelled on it, and then, you know, other calls came in and other things, you know, other situations that occurred and even around the country. You know, watching the news, which I try to avoid as much as I can, but watching what's going on in policing. And I really wanted to talk about this false reporting because I don't think many people know how bad it actually is.
Yeah, okay.
And and unfortunately, Joe Citizen, who's sitting in the park, we get a phone call because somebody perceived a drug dealer or drug dealing or something that didn't really happen. They're just sitting there, you know, feeding the birds or whatever. Right. Now we go up to said person, and it turns into a use of force incident because the Joe Citizen's an actual asshole and says, who the fuck are you to talk to me? And then we're like, okay.
The disaster was set up from the initial call.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
So let's get into it, man.
Yeah. So
here we go.
So these calls that patrol officers generally go to, they range anywhere from 911 to reports of larcenies, to other crimes, to a lost dog, whatever. They range all over the place.
Yeah.
So the patrol, for those who, you know, the non-officers, I'll give you a quick rundown. So the officer shows up, takes the report. If a crime is going on as we speak, they will make the arrest if needed, or summons, depending on the level of crime. Sometimes, like a simple assault isn't really arrestable without, you know, unless it's
and the level of discretion too.
Exactly. So a lot of times we'll break up the fight and say, all right, you're both summons to court, deal with it at court.
Right.
But how many times have officers had to report to a call and it turns out to be a situation that was embellished? The reporting lied, etc. I actually looked into it, right? I went and I dug and dug and dug, looked at different statistical type organizations, and there's very little out there about it.
Yeah.
Because again, there is no solid data really. It'd be interesting to see if an organization actually sits and goes through one police department's calls for service and sees how much, they'll see how much actual crime we deal with versus the bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it isn't tracked. So I'm talking from my personal experience, stuff that I've done, I've seen. So a lot of it has to do with stuff that I've seen. And I'm sure, Pete, you can elaborate on a lot of it with stuff you see in your city.
Sure.
So early in my policing career, I was working in the dispatch center and in Boston. And I get a phone call, a 911 phone call. This caller reported that he was robbed at the ATM.
We're in the article, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It should be early in my policing career paragraph.
Okay.
So I answered the 911 call while working in the dispatch center. The caller reported that he was robbed at an ATM and gave me his location. I asked the typical who, what, where, when, why, the usual questions we ask. And what happened as police units were on their way? The caller said that a guy approached him and wanted to sell him some sugar in a bag. Right?
I'm sorry.
No, hey, dude. Like, I'm on the phone with this guy, and I'm like, am I really listening to this now?
Who's fucking with me right now?
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Am I being punked?
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher going to jump from behind the screen?
It's Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy got me. Motherfucker.
Exactly. So I put in quotes, the victim said that the unknown man, he gave the unknown man money, and the guy took off.
Yeah.
I remember laughing. I said, "Oh, all right. You mean you did a drug deal and got ripped off?" And the guy became...
No, I was buying sugar.
Exactly. Dude, the guy stuck to that sugar. He ended up leaving. We couldn't find him because I was like, what the... Really, dude?
I buy sugar from my house.
So here's the thing, right?
Fuck out of here.
The call is a robbery. That's all we know right now.
Right.
In the meantime, I'm getting information because it's an active thing. Like, it just happened. So time is of the essence for us to nab the suspect.
Sure.
But as time went on, it got worse, and I ended up canceling the units. But here's the thing. Units are on their way, blue light sirens.
They can get into an accident. They can hit somebody.
They can hit somebody. They can get hurt. They can do whatever.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's one quick example. And then the other one, as technology advances, people are now using apps on smartphones.
Yep.
To report crimes, anonymous tips, request police reports, and various other things related to a police department. In my experience, a majority of these anonymous tips that come in through these apps are neighbor-on-neighbor disputes.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. That
civil stuff that could be taken care of in other ways.
In other ways. Or how about just going up to your neighbor and be like, hey, dude, want to have a beer and have a chat real quick so we can
be
work
neighborly?
This out? Yeah, be neighborly.
Ooh.
Exactly. I know, right? But I've gone to calls where neighbors were arguing over property line, where it's not a police matter. Like, the call comes in, the frantic neighbor calls, oh, there's this blah, blah going on, and we think it's a disturbance, i.e. fight or whatever, screaming on the way down there because, again, it's active.
Yeah.
Turns
out
you
don't know what's really going on.
Yeah, we don't know what's really going on. Dispatch doesn't know what's really going on. They're just giving the information that they are hearing.
Right.
And, sometimes you'll hear, dispatcher says, unit 1, I'm hearing screaming in the background. Yeah. So now it's like hyping us up because we're like, oh, shit.
It's adding things, it's dropping things into the bucket.
Exactly. So our level, if you want to call it, is up there because we're like, oh, we're walking into the fire right now.
Right.
And as well as I do, like domestics, neighbor disputes, these type of shit turns violent. Cops have died
really
quickly, and cops have died as a result. Yep. I mean, what's that one where the guy was shoveling snow, hit his neighbor? It happened this year.
Oh yeah, the guy came out with a rifle.
Yeah.
And shot both of them, I think, right?
Yeah.
What was funny about that one was I remember they started arguing. He grabs a rifle, and then the wife pulls out a fucking pistol.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I remember it was over a snow shovel.
Over a snow shovel. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, my God, they were both armed. It was almost like they were setting themselves up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they were setting themselves up. Like, if he comes out, that motherfucker, I'm going to show him type of thing.
But again, those type. But it's so the example, one of the examples I had is this guy who had the property dispute, which I actually went to, and it was built though this fence was built a long time ago, and there was a large shed on the property. The shed encroached slightly on the reporting party's property line. In my mind, my function is not to deal with property disputes. I'm just like, what?
Well, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? You're not land court.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I'm not. All I did was tell them call the building department and instead of, go to court.
I got something to say about this. Can I say it?
Yeah, go.
So deep down inside, a lot of these people, right? A, they want attention.
Mm-hmm.
B, some keyboard warrior / wannabe attorney has told them, well, next time that happens, call the police.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And make sure that the police does a police report.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you gone to these calls and the people have been like, well, I want you to write a police report on it.
Yeah, documenting.
Document it.
I'm like, what? Document what?
And it's like, you set this up.
Yeah.
You set this up.
Yeah.
You could have just gone to land court and filed fucking X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But you're setting up the aggression. I think it gets into what you talk about later on into the article, too.
Yeah. It definitely does.
Okay.
I mean, I've seen anonymous tips come in where you can tell by the tone of the description that the reporting party hates the neighbor.
Yeah. There you go.
And you can tell, you're looking at it, and so the police, so they use the police to project their displeasure with their neighbor, right? It's disgusting half the time, or should I say most of the time. Yeah. Racism, oh my God, this is a whole separate issue when it comes to false reporting.
Yeah.
I've seen it time and time again. The police get a call regarding a suspicious person. The description is put up by dispatch from the reporting party. We find that the person who is a person of color, and the poor guy was just there. Poor guy or gal was just there walking home or doing whatever, and someone tried to project their own racism, their own biases onto the police. And then that's when you run into situations where the poor soul, they're like,
guys, like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
what did I do?
Right.
Which, and us as cops are like, listen, we don't know you. Like, I don't know you. So let me just get done whatever I got to get done here. And we'll, you'll be on your way, whatever. I mean, we try to make it.
Which can escalate, Ayman.
It can escalate.
It's a huge issue.
It is. I mean, well, that's where I said, earlier where a use of force can happen all of a sudden. Because let's say this guy's having a bad day, which it's actually happened to me. Someone called that someone is carrying a firearm, gives me the exact description, person of color, whole 9 yards. I make contact with the person, and the fight was on. Now, the guy was having a bad day from a construction job.
Right. And
last thing he needed was the police to come up to him and tell him, hey, can you come over here to search for the gun, alleged gun. There was nothing like that.
It was unnecessary contact.
Exactly. Not necessary.
That escalated.
Yep. That escalated, into a fight, and the arrest occurred as a result because it was just it was an unfortunate circumstance where both myself and this person were the victims of
false reporting.
So it's really disgusting when you really think about it. So one night I was working 4 to 12 shift, and
you're still a day walker, 4 to 12, just so you know. Go on.
Actually, we're more badass, 4 to 12, all right? We're the in-between.
Yeah, you're definitely the in-between. I was going to go somewhere with that, but keep going.
All right, night walker. One night.
Loud and proud, baby.
Yeah. One night, a 911 call comes in. Dispatch was frantically getting police over to the house, where it was described to responding officers that someone was being actively assaulted.
That's big terminology, actively assaulted.
Oh, yeah, no, that's like, I still remember that call. And you're talking all the sector cars went. Like, because it's like, again, most dangerous calls cops go to, domestics. Right? When we hear that two people are fighting inside a home related, and the assault is happening right now.
You got a lot going through your mind, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he cutting her or vice versa? The kids involved.
Exactly. Dispatch is relaying to us, no firearms known, no LTC, stuff like that. So there's shit coming to us right away as we're getting there. So we raced multiple units, blue light sirens. The sirens, it was so bad that I remember getting out. My siren was still going. We were running to the house.
The false call amped you up that much.
Oh, yeah. It was because I remember I talked to the dispatcher later. She said, it sounded like this person was getting murdered, from how bad it was.
Yeah.
You know what it turned out to be?
Argument.
It was an argument.
I didn't even read it.
Father, daughter were having a family dispute. Father told his daughter to leave the dinner table, threw her food away, and told her to just go to your room or whatever. Now, this girl...
So did the daughter call?
Yeah, it was the daughter that called.
I'll show him.
Yeah, exactly. And she called in a way, again, she was frantic, screaming, whatever. I said to the daughter, who, again, in her 20s, though. This isn't like a young 12-year-old not knowing any better.
Oh.
This is in her 20s.
Oh, that changes it a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I tell her, I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. So this girl caused the diversion of a significant police resources because she did not like her father's tone. So imagine all those sector cars, what else they could have been doing. One, probably chilling out for a little bit or getting their dinner ready or doing what,
There's a million what ifs at that point.
Millions,
right?
Yeah, millions of things that we could have been doing. So I learned later that she lived with her parents with her boyfriend who also lived with them. They lived downstairs in a finished basement. So we entered the basement. The daughter and boyfriend were living. Her boyfriend was sitting on a couch, several monitors surrounding him, playing some sort of online role-playing game. Exactly. Shook my head, and we just walked out.
Oh, boy.
And it's like, now people are going to ask, well, why didn't you charge her?
Why didn't you?
If we were to charge every single false report we got, you'll need a whole separate court system just for that.
You're absolutely right about that.
That's the thing.
That's a great point.
Which I have. I have charged before. But, again, 9 times out of 10, they get dismissed.
So, and the ones that you did charge had to be probably egregious.
Oh, my God, yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
super dickhead.
Yeah, it was really bad. So, again, like I said, I even say it in the article, question I'm sure burning it, why don't we charge these people for these false reports? Every state has laws regarding false reports. I know down south, it's an arrestable offense right away.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Well, you've seen it, the McDonald's where the lady didn't... get the right burger or whatever, and then the police, she calls 911, I didn't get my food, and the police show up and actually lock her up.
I didn't see that. Really?
Oh, they do that. Yeah, down south, there's more, they're a lot stricter with that shit. But again, though, here's the thing. If they were to do that every time, right? If we charge someone every time they call for a false report, the court system would be overloaded. Most of the time, if we do charge someone, they end up paying a small fine, and then that's as far as it goes. We also end up charging people with mental illnesses who call the police constantly for crimes that never occurred.
Right.
We're dealing with that now. I'm sure like I told you, I'm seeing more sections being handed out because of these mental health issues where you got people calling us telling us this is real. I'm not going to get into too much detail. But one of them said that there are midgets in the walls trying to break through.
That can happen.
Just saying.
Right.
Okay, so that's how, we deal with that.
It's putting a huge burden on the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
It's putting a burden on policing.
Yeah.
On the individual officers.
Yep.
It's just it's a domino effect.
Yeah.
All the way through the system, right?
Exactly.
And then you get the false reporting in there.
Oh, yeah. Add that to the mix.
It.
Yeah.
On top of all the fucking racist bullshit that we have to deal with and this and that.
Yeah.
What a fucking shame, dude.
Oh, no, it's again, that's why I called it a true epidemic.
Right, it is.
I mean, it's really bad. And again, for us that, me and you, we work in major cities, it fucking ties us up.
I wonder what the number is so what is it, close to 1 billion police encounters a year?
Yeah, something crazy.
I wonder if these numbers are tied into that.
They probably are because they did like an overall call for service type thing. So they just lumped everything, anything and everything.
So that lends credit to how good fucking cops really are in this country, right? Because of how many times you're going to deal with the bullshit calls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you don't fucking lose it on the people.
Yeah. Oh, you wanna.
But you know what I'm saying?
I mean, this 20-year-old that fucking called, the daughter who we thought was getting murdered.
Right.
I want to toss her out the window
and
tell Dad, kick her the fuck out with her gaming boyfriend who doesn't contribute shit.
Winner.
Yeah. Fucking kick them both out and let them live on their own. Like it's like, dude.
20 years old in a basement playing fucking video games.
Yeah.
God, I wish I had this life.
Dude, legit, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 monitors up, laid back, keyboard, all the monitors having some sort of game.
What the fuck did I do wrong in my life?
Well,
I use my basement for fucking business. I mean.
Yeah, you have that. And you got a weird dungeon behind this black screen there.
One day, listeners, we're going to show you what's behind there on a special day.
Shocking. It's going to be shocking.
Ayman's going to be tied up.
Oh, my God.
Help me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? You just reminded me. We'll talk offline about this one.
I reminded you of something?
Well,
hold on. Let me shut the cameras off, Ayman. Go ahead and tell me.
The things SWAT officers talk about when they're standing around waiting for the next mission. That's the way I'm going to start it.
Okay, all right. Go on.
So,
where are we? Now a question, I'm sure. No.
Okay, yeah. So I've so in terms of charges, so I've charged someone once for the misuse of 911 and filing a false police report. The person called police claiming that someone destroyed his family's business. It turned out to be him.
What do you mean destroyed his family's business? What was he reporting?
Broke the glass, table was broke, all that shit. He calls 911 himself. He ends up leaving, right? We get there. As soon as the name was said, we already know who it is. Yeah. We're like, oh, yeah, all right, dude.
Was he Greek? This reminds me of a lot of Greek dramas, bro.
He's not Greek, nor is he Lebanese.
Okay.
So we'll eliminate those right away.
Hey, I can say that I'm Greek. So yeah. Greek businesses and family entrepreneurship is fucking dramatic.
Have you gone into a Lebanese business?
Yeah, it's the same shit.
Dude, they're constantly. Dad's a butcher and the son's at the cash register.
I had actually, you know what? It's interesting that we bring this up. I was talking to a friend of ours. And I was telling them that if they go into a Greek establishment, if they hear people screaming at each other, possibly throwing shit at each other about who cooked the fucking French fries, it's perfectly normal.
Oh, it is.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It is.
So the Lebanese culture is the same way.
Oh, yeah. Like I'll have to tell like my friends who don't know the Lebanese culture, like if they go over for a barbecue, like, listen, it's going to sound like everyone's screaming at each other at all times. Don't worry about it. All right. If my mom and dad end up getting into fisticuffs and throwing food around, don't worry about it. That's all normal.
I had a friend of mine here one time was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I don't want to be rude. And I'm like, yeah. Why is it when all the guys see each other, they kiss each other? I'm like, dude, we're not making out.
Yeah.
It's not a sexual thing. It's a fucking cultural thing.
Yeah, that's cultural. Lebanese do the same
thing. Yeah, I get it.
It's fucking...
But what's weird is most of the world does that.
Yeah, but except for
the US.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Now that we've gone way off topic, let's roll it back in.
Oh boy.
All right.
Go back to policing.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
I went and kissed my sergeant the other night when I saw him. Hey, Sarge, hope you have a good shift.
Yeah.
Go on.
So family business. It turns out we knew who it was, and the family confirmed it was him, in fact, who destroyed everything. So I charged him with malicious destruction of property and misuse of 911.
Yeah.
And filing false police report. How far do you think it went in court?
Hold on. Quaffed.
Oh yeah.
It was quaffed?
Oh, yeah. Don't do it again. Slap on the wrist. See you later. But again, that's the reality of it.
Man.
Right? That's the reality of it. So how can this be fixed? Again, society, we always talk about this. Society needs to take a hard look at itself. Every individual in American society really needs to look inward rather than outward and pointing, and ask themselves, what's going on? Why is it like this?
Well, it's easier to fucking point and blame somebody else, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's much easier to not take
going on.
responsibility for your fucking actions.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's a fundamental issue.
It is.
Right?
Absolutely.
False reporting is a fundamental issue in policing.
It's a huge issue.
I think you're completely right by saying that it's epidemic.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it took me a while. Like, I was thinking about it. And you know me, again, when I write.
That's why I was asking in the beginning. Like, it's something deeply rooted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think you're totally right.
And yeah, like you've been on long enough, over a decade. I've been on over a decade. And we just see it time and time and time again.
Right.
And you're just like, sometimes, like, I'll feel like I'll go to maybe, when I was on patrol, I'll go to like 20 calls. 15 of them were bullshit.
Right.
And 5 of them were actual crimes.
The one good thing that I would say in policing is that a lot of us, after a couple of years, or maybe riding with someone that has a couple of years, because I think that's very important too.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I hate new people riding together.
Yeah.
You get to know that it's like the foundation of what's out there.
Yeah.
Like, you're still going to rush to the call. Like you said, you were rushing to that fucking call.
You don't know, though.
The unknown.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when the heart rate was up and you were hearing everything coming from the dispatcher and this and that, I'm going to say for myself that somewhere in the back of my head, it was probably like, is this bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a double edge to that. Why? Because I'm notoriously calm.
Yeah.
I'm always notoriously calm.
Yeah.
Right. Until I have to fucking put pin to primer.
Yeah.
But my thing is slow it down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So maybe, I'm not going to say it's a benefit. It's not a benefit. But do you think that a lot of these cops do realize that all of them are bullshit?
I think it depends too. Here's why, because now I'm thinking about a situation I dealt with, 911 hangups. How many of those do we go to?
Tons.
Sometimes
of the time,
all
night it's 911 fucking hangups.
A lot of times it's kids playing with the phones.
Right.
Mom accidentally pushed 9, then 911. Businesses do that. The one of the very few times where it was an actual legit emergency because the person called 911 and the other party slammed the phone down.
Right.
Me and my partner, we show up and, we're like, oh, here we go. Another 911 hang up. Let's go hail the family. Hey, my partner gets there first. He's going ahead of me. I'm like 30 seconds behind him, not even. I pull up and, I'm making my way and all I hear my partner, Kafel, get over here. I'm like, whoa, sprinted. The family, the son was taking a frying pan, throwing it across the room at his own mother.
Fuck.
Like, so that was legit.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's that trickery where 9 times out of 10, I'm generally calm going to these hot calls, because you got to be clear headed, all that stuff. Now, I think that the reason that night was it was so amped up to even dispatch, relaying the information.
I gotcha.
That we all collectively, it
was a domino.
Yeah.
Just dominoed right from call taker to dispatcher to you guys to just right down the line.
Yep.
Talking about 911 and call takers and stuff, I got to give props to, I'm sure your department, definitely my department, but I'm sure you love your dispatchers too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They do an amazing job.
Absolutely.
They do fucking amazing job.
They're the ones that hear the screams on the phone.
Absolutely.
Before that murder, before that violent encounter, so
sure.
They're the ones that hear that shit.
But like even some of the seasons, I've worked with a lot of seasoned dispatchers, right? And when I went back to patrol, I was so happy that a specific dispatcher would be on my channel.
Yeah.
Because I remember this guy from fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And he knew how I worked. I knew how he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times the bullshit calls would kind of they'd be told to us in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The other thing I want to say about dispatchers is that with the 911 hang up stuff, they're fucking excellent at that stuff.
Yeah.
I've gotten plenty of calls. You've gotten plenty of calls where it's been one of those, 911. Oh yeah, I'd like to order a pizza type of thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that I know they get training in it, but it's also a personal skill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter how much you train somebody in this shit, it has to be like a personal thing.
Oh, it's all exactly.
And every single one of the dispatchers that I've encountered, when it comes to shit like that, are fucking awesome. So thank you guys. Like literally.
Well, you know what I think of is probably the most major incident that we've ever dealt with was the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yeah.
And how the dispatchers were.
Absolutely amazing.
Stunning. I remember when the recordings came out, like within the law enforcement circles, and we were we were sharing them amongst each other and listening to the dispatchers, how calm, cool, collected, right resources, right spot.
Absolutely.
Allowing people to talk, the cops to talk from the streets, literally saying, what do you guys need?
It was, they were far away. I always say it to my dispatchers all the time. Thanks for being in my ear.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I wear an earpiece too. But thanks for being in my ear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's true. They're in your fucking head.
No, they are. And with the more seasoned dispatchers, if they know, like for me, right, a couple of the more seasoned dispatchers that know me, when I am FIOing someone, they know I'm looking for something specific. So they will already do it for me.
Oh, for you.
For me, without really me requesting it. Because they know how I think. They know how I am on the streets.
That's teamwork, bro.
And no, like, at first, I'd never get mad at them, whatever. I'd have to take more time on the radio. Like, hey, can you do this? Can you run that? Can you run this? Can you do... So now I'll go over the air. Yeah, can you run John Smith 120, 1989? Yeah, time 4. And then okay, he's got this, out of state, he's got this, and also NCIC, there's a warrant for it. So, because they know that's what I'm looking for. This, like, I'm not stopping or pulling over Joe Citizen. I'm actually doing something.
Right.
You know, so they know when they hear my voice, it's for a reason. And they're great because I wear an earpiece all the time myself because, one, I've learned through experience that the minute some asshole hears warrant, you're going to fight. You're going to fight.
Oh, yeah.
So with the earpiece, there's some dispatchers really good, too. They'll say, hey, are you cleared for traffic?
Right.
I'm like, yep, go ahead. You know, that way they make sure you're in a safe area or you have an earpiece and you can do whatever.
I got to tell you a secret that I've used.
What's that?
You guys might like this and might be able to use it in your careers. An old timer taught me when he first got his earpiece. And he was like, you ever want somebody to fucking stop yelling, stop screaming? Like, you can't get through to them. You can't make them stop and this and that. Just go like this. Pretend somebody's talking to you on the fucking radio.
I like that.
And I can't tell you how many times, Ayman, that's worked. Where I've had fucking screaming and yelling, you motherfuckers. And I'm like, hold on. And give it like 10 seconds. And that fucking pause makes them feel awkward.
Actually, I like that because I actually use it on the crazies that approach us to talk to us about UFOs and whatever else. And I'll sit there for 5 minutes and I'll listen. Oh, okay. Hey, I got to go.
But like, use it on the street, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, I like that.
There's a lot of guys that heard that and they were like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I like that. Yeah. So you know, coming now again, we kind of got sidetracked.
Squirrel.
But how can this be fixed? All right, from what I've seen, the opioid epidemic, mental health, the court system, police leaders, elected officials all have a role in addressing this issue. They must collectively work together to get to the root cause of it. Now, the root cause of it is societal. Like I said, I believe it's societal. But all these individuals, from the medical system to the mental health system to the leadership to the criminal justice system to all of that, they all need collectively work together with society. Now, it's a big ask, right? It's a huge ask.
You know what, though, Ayman? It's not. It's not, because all these people that we're talking about, we're all civil servants.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
We owe it to the fucking public.
I agree. Like me and you always say, elected officials, that's all you are. You're elected. You're not a leader.
Right.
You're elected by the people.
Right.
So why don't you assist us? I mean, how many times have elected officials bypassed police and just been like, yeah, we're going to do this?
All the time. It's like the standard.
Exactly. Yeah, fuck talking to the guys who are going to enforce this law. We're just going to put it out there.
Yeah, dude, the thing is, everybody wants to be the fucking chief, right? Nobody wants to be the Indians.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Everybody wants to be the fucking chief.
Yeah.
So from the mental health people in the court system and the police leaders and elected officials, everybody wants to fucking have a measuring fucking
They want
game.
their name. They want their name on the bill.
Exactly.
You know, which, whatever.
But see, that's what people need to understand.
Yeah.
And they need to realize that even in their police leadership, even in the mental health leadership, all that stuff. How many times have you been talked down to by a doctor?
Oh, my God.
Just because it's a fucking MD.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yep.
And it's like, I understand that. I respect that. Very fucking smart for you to do that. But the second that you use that on me, I'll break you in half.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, same thing with the court system. The best judges that I've seen are respectful.
Yeah.
Like, really respectful. You ever see that Rhode Island judge?
Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
He's fucking awesome.
I can't think of his name.
The old guy.
Yeah. He's got his own channel and everything.
He's made court enjoyable. And I'm not saying that it needs to be a fucking sideshow.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure he's dropped the fucking hammer plenty of times.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you got Mom. I saw an episode a few days ago. Mom, the other day, fucking gets a red light camera. She's crying. She's like, I have $67 to my name.
Yeah.
He's like, sweetheart, we'll take care of this.
Yeah.
But you know that there's a lot of people in the criminal justice system that are going to be like, fuck you. No, we're going to take care of this. You broke the law.
Yeah.
Right?
I call those troopers.
Yeah. Fucking heads exploded on the highway. I can hear them. Oh, shit. But you're right, man.
Just kidding, troopers. Just kidding. Don't pull me over.
We love you guys. Some. Love some. Mm-hmm. But from what I've seen, the opioid epidemic. Just think about the opioid epidemic.
Yeah. Well,
right?
the last episode we did, the Marino bill.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? He had to have his name on the fucking bill.
And he knew nothing about fucking anything.
No, he fucking caused the opioid epidemic.
But here's another problem. All right, the opioid epidemic happened.
Yeah.
Right? How many, let's call a spade here in front of fucking thousands of listeners, how many cops have you known that have zero heart towards addicts?
I know plenty.
That they will publicly say stupid shit about let them die, let them this, let them that, but you know deep down inside they're not going to.
No.
That's a problem.
But here's the thing, like it's either you're a sheepdog, hybrid wolf, or the cop that doesn't do shit, right?
Right.
That's how I've always lumped these cops. Generally, from what I find, is the hybrid wolves and the sheepdog are more empathetic or to them, because
they're going to do the right thing.
They'll do the right thing. You
Right.
know, the guy who just wants to do overtime and all that shit, he could give a fuck. Yeah, die. I don't care. You're getting in the way of my fucking detail.
How many times have you gone to an overdose where people are deer in headlights?
Oh, plenty.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not because of they don't care or they just don't know what to fucking do, even though they've been trained.
Yeah.
A lot of these problems are fundamental.
Oh, yeah.
Foundational, I should say.
Foundational. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And everybody needs to work together because all of these people that you talk about in the article, they're all on the same fucking team and we all work for the public.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I think I told you. So actually, just the other day, I dealt with a heroin addict. The guy used to be a superstar fucking car salesman.
Yeah.
Made fucking
tons of money.
Yep. But when he was a young kid, right, at 16, 17, 18 years old, he blew out his elbow. He said that's where it kind of started. He said the injury happened on like a Friday, and his surgery wasn't till Monday. The doctor prescribed 120 pills of Perks.
What do you mean, for 3 days?
Yeah.
How did his breathing not stop?
He said that's when the addiction really took him, because
he had no choice.
Well, I spoke to his mother. His mother says there's addiction in the family, the dad, the grandfather. So they have the gene, the addictive gene.
Of course.
They have it in them. So you just activated this gene for this kid.
Right.
Because some big pharma said, we'll take you to dinner if you give out this type of med, which has been documented and has been shown under a DOJ fucking investigation.
It's not only dinner, it's fucking the trip to the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
shit.
what yeah.
You'd be calling me tinfoil if I said that.
No. I've seen it. I've worked in a doctor's office. I've seen how they fucking invite you to dinner, these lavish dinners.
Well, look at the salesman every time they come into the doctor's office and they bring in a spread.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I enjoyed the spread.
I know, it's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a reason behind it.
I'll tell you a personal story about addiction.
Yeah.
Right? I'll tell you two personal stories real quick.
Okay.
I had hurt my neck. No details. Right? Terrible fucking injury. And one night, I hated painkillers. One night, I said, I have to fucking take something because I'm dying here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm all fucked up. I ended up taking it for 3 nights in a row, just at night. Now, I was perfectly functional during the day. I went through my fucking pain, all that shit. Yep. The 4th night, I was like, I'm not going to take it anymore. It made me too woozy, this and that. I shit you not, Ayman, within 3 hours of where my head told me it was bedtime, I started getting the shakes. So I'm like, holy fuck, I just got addicted to something in 3 days.
Yeah.
Another story, real quick, just to see how real this is.
Yeah.
My parents are immigrants, right? They know the language, but if you talk to them, you'll be like, these people are from another country.
Yeah.
Right? You can clearly fucking tell. And they come from an old village mentality, right? Where they trust the doctors implicitly.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's the doctor has spoken, it's Bible verse.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
My mother calls me one night. My dad had shingles. Very painful. Right? My mother calls me one night and she goes, there's something wrong with your dad. What the hell's wrong with dad? Like, you hear fucking something's wrong with your dad. It's holy shit. You know what I mean? Fucking every antenna goes up. So I'm asking her what's wrong, and I'm only 20 minutes away. I'm jumping in the car. I'm rushing over there, and she's telling me, she's like, he has the sweats. He's shaking. He threw up.
He's going through withdrawals.
He's going through fucking withdrawals. That's the first thing I said to myself. So I get to the house.
Yep.
I say, let me see his medication, and she opens up the fucking medication. He's got like all kinds of different medications, whatever. And his opiates or his painkillers are fucking empty. And I said, how long has it been since you've taken them? And he's like, 2 days. So I'm like, my 70-year-old dad who's never touched a drug, he doesn't know what drugs look like.
Yeah.
Doesn't know what cocaine looks like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
was on fucking withdrawal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it happened. It's there's a reason why they're they're called synthetic heroin and synthetic whatever, because that's exactly what they are. Your body is going to go through withdrawals after you come off this, but if you have that addictive gene, that withdrawal
it boosts. It's like
boosts,
yeah,
you know, so they have to have it.
You mean like an addictive personality like me?
Yes, I'll fine.
Yes. All right, let's go back over here, Squirrel.
All right, so
this episode's going to be called Squirrel.
Yeah, we should call it that. All right, so in this day, social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of social media platforms, police departments should continuously conduct public service announcements to educate the public on the use and misuse of police services.
Yeah.
It should be a constant thing. Air the PSAs on local news outlets, at least weekly. Educate the public about punishments of false report and charge people who lie to the police. Not just charge them as in criminally, charge them for the use of city resources such as...
Oh, you mean monetarily?
Monetarily. Here's
bill them
$100,000 because they...
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Like, and you'll see that drop. Because where do people get hurt the most?
In the pocket.
In the pocket.
I love everything you say here. Do the PSAs. The PSAs, I think, for the kids are especially even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Because the opiate problem is huge for kids.
Yeah.
Right? And people, that's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? So the PSAs, especially with kids, is awesome. Educate the public about the punishments on the reports. Charge people who lie to the police. The way you just said it nails it on the head.
Yeah.
Unless people get hit in the pocket.
Yep.
Then they're never going to fucking change.
Well, I mean, like we talked last episode, like I'm not a traffic guy, whatever.
Right.
But if you're an asshole and you were speeding, yeah, you know what? That $200-$300 ticket is gonna hurt.
Well, it depends on how egregious it is, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, if it's something egregious, but again, you give that ticket for a reason, because to me that ticket is like, here's your timeout. Right. Fucking pay $300 because you're an asshole.
And it's not only that. People are like, okay, the hassle of appealing it.
Oh, yeah. You know, you need a court date. Then you got to show up. And sometimes it's an all-day affair because you're not scheduled. You just got to show up to court.
I'll tell you, dude, I don't speed. I don't get pulled over. I don't this and that. And it's like, you know, you'd get the professional courtesy, right?
Yeah.
You would. But I it's a waste of my fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thing is, though, in reality, like let's break it down in physics, like actual fucking math, right? Speed plus time and all that shit, right? If you're going like 10 miles over the speed limit or 15, 20, you're only shaving maybe a second or two off.
A minute maybe.
Maybe
right?
a minute to get there. So this is what I love when people, like, you know, I'm driving in my personal car and people cut me off to get ahead of the traffic that's right there. I'm like, oh, good job.
Good job. You stopped. You got to the red light quicker.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, good for you.
And then they're looking at you like in the rear view.
Yep. I love it. Dude. But anyway, so that's what I mean. Charge people, right?
Yes.
Especially that monetarily charge, right? That 20-year-old, you tally up 8 cruisers, 8 police officers.
What did that cost the city?
What did that cost the city?
See if she does it again.
I'll tell you right now, she'll probably still be paying to this day.
Yeah. Look, people are entitled to our services, right?
Oh, absolutely.
They're entitled to our services.
But when you abuse the service?
And they're entitled to even make mistakes with our services.
That's why we're investigating officers.
Exactly.
There's a reason for it.
So, yeah, we're not going to charge them for mistakes. We're not going to charge them for fucking even menial stuff where you're like, ma'am, you didn't need to call the police on this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The egregious, complete false narratives.
Oh yeah, like being racist to your neighbor
should be 100%. Here's another one that we should fucking completely use the filing false police report thing. False internal affairs allegations.
Oh yes, yeah.
False internal affairs allegations.
Well, same thing. Charge the asshole who lied after watching the body cam video and all that shit or whatever. Charge him the man hours it took to investigate that. And charge them monetarily for it.
I had one during COVID. I think I told you this.
Yeah, you told me about it.
Yeah. I had one during COVID, and if I didn't have my body camera on, it would have been like, put the nails in his fucking hands.
Yeah.
It would have.
Yeah.
Because it was what he was alleging was that bad.
Yeah.
And even though I knew, like everything was going through my head. Was my camera working?
Mm-hmm.
Did it record everything? Did it record the conversation? Like,
yeah,
I'm being fucking paranoid, right? And thank God. And then I remember going to some of the bosses. They did a great job. handling it. But I was like, why can't we take that an extra step? It's almost like an assault on a police officer.
Yeah. I had that. I think I told you about it. It was a while ago, but I had that. Some guy complained. It was an IA racial profiling thing, all that stuff. First, he called me a white police officer. So his letter began. I was surrounded. I was surrounded by a sea of white officers. So the reason he was stopped is for fair jumping.
Okay, that's an asshole thing to do.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
So I stop him because I was in plain clothes. One of the things, we'll sit at the turnstile, and if you skip it, we're going to stop you.
Sure.
FIOU and whatever, whether give you a ticket or warning, it's up to us.
Yeah. Discretion.
So
get ready for that to go away, everybody.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Go on.
Anyways, before we get into another tangent.
Do you know what I want to talk about?
Oh, just stop. Let me finish what I got to say, then you can go do your squirrel thing. So the guy wrote a 2-page letter, which he did not write.
Somebody
else wrote it. Just even the IA lieutenant was like, somebody helped him write this.
Honey, you're an English major. Can you help me with this?
Like the way it was written. So first of all, a sea of white officers. Thank God it's in Boston and there's a million cameras everywhere.
Right.
So at the time, it wasn't body cams.
Right.
It was cameras all around the area of the allegation. It was myself, a Latino cop, and an Asian cop.
Not even a white guy?
No white guys. Not a single white guy. All right?
Oh, fuck me.
He talked about how we held him for over an hour.
8 minutes.
Exactly. Documented 8-minute stop. Actually,
it was really 8 minutes?
No, it really was. Dude, it was license, okay, run.
Quick check,
check, citation, have a nice day.
12. Let's give you 12 minutes.
Even whatever. It was fast, right? It wasn't like whatever, So, and I didn't even think about it. And this is a couple months later when I got called to the cop with IA, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got called to the cop because it was a racial profiling, and, again, it's like, oh, shit,
Just imagine, though. Imagine if he had one up.
I know.
If you didn't have the cameras. If you did, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he claimed we held him for over an hour, humiliated him.
How many times did he use the "this is unacceptable" fucking line in the
Dude, tons. And
fucking loser.
The funniest thing is the IA lieutenant spoke to him. I mean, again, did a great job in the whole thing and whatever. And the IA lieutenant tells the guy, he's like, oh, did you know that the officer who stopped you was actually born in Africa? And he's got family that are Lebanese and also African.
Right.
And the other 2 officers are Asian and Latino.
What did he say to that?
I don't know.
Nothing to say.
I just laughed. Yeah. I'm like, exactly. Like, and the stop was 8 to 10 minutes, whatever. It wasn't an hour. And you weren't humiliated. You got humiliated because you got caught. There's the difference.
I think, tell me what you think. Public record. This shit is public record, right? Every interaction with the police should be public record.
It is.
It is. Right? So why not the false allegations?
Again, though, I researched it. I couldn't find an actual study that was
on the
really
false
done
allegation.
On the false allegation. I couldn't find one. So that's why I'm giving a lot of my personal and your personal experiences with it, and I'm sure every cop that listens to this can already think of 20 different things that they've had to deal with that was all false reporting and a waste of fucking time. And it's unreal, So going back to the article at dispatch centers, at the police dispatch centers, have a list of individuals who are known to lie to police. I mean, they know as soon as this person calls, they're like, all right, here we go.
It's Jimmy again.
Yeah. What's he going to say now? And who are known to lie to the police and effectively root out the cause of their constant calls to the police. Most times it's a mental health issue.
Right. So
we'll get them on the phone. We'll end up sectioning them because we'll know that, hey, they're freaking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
That shit.
Yeah. And the police need to be able to work with the medical professionals to get whatever services the person requires. And you have no idea how many roadblocks I run into with this medical professionals when they throw HIPAA at me every time.
Why?
HIPAA is another one that I think, you know what, I'm going to do a whole article on HIPAA now.
Yeah, let's do that.
But
that's interesting.
Yeah, but HIPAA is like one of those things that hospitals handcuff cops with HIPAA. I understand
There's
about
good intention.
but there's also CYA on their end. They don't want to get sued, which I get.
The fourth largest killer, malpractice.
Yeah.
Go on.
Which, here's the thing. When I say, hey, we just, we had John Smith get sectioned. Can you let me know where he is right now? Is he in another facility? Blah, blah, blah. Some, depending on who you get on the phone, some nurses are good. Others will throw the HIPAA flag. And I'll tell them, well, what does HIPAA have to do with this?
Right.
I'm not asking for medical diagnosis or anything like that. I'm
Right.
asking just which hospital did they get transferred to? I've already got his name, date of birth, social, address, phone number.
I have all the HIPAA.
I have all the HIPAA his shit anyways.
Right.
I just need to know where he is so I can follow up with that hospital
Right.
to make sure he or she has a post-treatment plan when they get out.
So you're trying to do the right thing.
Exactly. So one of my guys was dealing with one of the hospitals about this, right? They're being complete assholes to him. Right? Nope, we can't tell you anything. Oh, who's the case manager for the patient?
I can't tell you that either.
Can't tell you that either. That's a HIPAA. And he said, and I told my guy, I said, hey, fucking tell them that you're going to call the Department of Mental Health
On them.
and on them. And as soon as he said that, they're like, oh, hold on, let me get the case manager for you.
So they were just fucking with him.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
They found an opportunity that they could use to fuck with a cop.
Yep,
And therefore they did.
yep. But at the detriment of who?
At the patient
At the patient.
who needs services, who needs fucking help.
Yep. So my thing is, again, we're getting off topic, but
It's all tied together.
It's all tied. My biggest thing is once the patient comes out of the hospital, he's back to being our problem
Of course.
as
That's right.
police. But so what you, mental health, are doing post hospital. You know as well as I
Yeah.
do. As soon as they leave the hospital,
Hands are tied. Hands aren't tied anymore. They're
no,
cut.
see
Right.
you later. We don't have to deal with him anymore. He's your problem now.
That's, you know what? That ties into false reporting too.
Yeah.
Ayman. Because maybe they shouldn't be letting a lot of these people out.
I've had families crying to me
How to keep them in there.
about their significant others,
Yeah.
family, mother, father, whatever, saying that they begged and pleaded with hospitals, saying that their family member needs to be institutionalized
Yep.
because they cannot function in regular society from how far they are. And I feel for the family.
So is that not false reporting? Because the hospitals are doing the checkbox,
Yeah, well, that's the checkbox,
right?
Yeah,
They're doing the false reporting too.
He's got the well, not just that. Insurance companies. I mean, we could get into a whole thing where insurance companies bleed these people dry, and then they lose their coverage, and now they're gone. I mean, you know as well as I do, some insurance companies will do 12 days in the bed. That's fine. We'll pay for that. But then after that, gone.
Yeah, you've reached your maximum or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
allowable stay or whatever because we're not paying for it anymore.
But yet, you know what? How many people are getting fucking... let's not get into it.
Yeah, let's not get too far.
You're in the last paragraph here.
Yeah, all right.
Present environment. What do you got here?
So in this present environment where everyone wants to blame the police for most things, we'd probably have a better chance to ruck march barefoot on glass than see all the entities I described actually work together.
Sad but true, my friend.
That was my conclusion when as I was writing, as I was thinking, as I was like, and we know the intricacies of state politics, city politics, all that bullshit, because you know what, we're cops and we see it. Politicians may not think we see, but we see.
We definitely fucking see.
We see what the fuck you're up to.
We see the fucking wool that you're trying to pull over our eyes, bro.
We see more than you think.
Absolutely.
Mr. and Mrs. Politician.
Or, I mean, you got to ask them what their pronouns are these days, too, because that can be offensive.
Amen, a woman. We're covered.
Amen, a woman.
We're covered.
Is it a woman, congresswoman, or congressman?
Yeah, we're
Which
good.
one is that?
We're good. So, actually, okay, before we get off tangent, okay, let's
Squirrel.
All right, let's wheel it back.
Move back. All right, where are you going?
All right. So again, though, we know how it works in the political field because sometimes we have to go to these city council meetings because of unruly people, whatever, and we'll sit there and listen, and we'll be like, "Wow." We will again, politicians. We know what you're up to.
The sad thing is that everybody listening knows.
Yeah.
Everybody listening knows what has to be done, but for some reason, I don't understand what it is, and we're all guilty of it.
Oh, yeah, no, we all are.
Are we weak? Is that what it is? Are we scared of these people? There's a fear element to it.
There is a fear element. So I think most of it is, especially with this day and age and all that, people need money for their families, right?
Yeah.
We need our jobs. We need to do this. We need to do that. These powerful people in these powerful positions can fire us like that.
That's a good point. That's true.
But I go back to, why do we have to be scared of that? If we're voicing fact,
you're doing the right thing.
You're doing the right thing, and now asshole politician who doesn't like you anymore,
that's true,
because you're saying the truth, now wants your head.
So why be scared?
Why be scared?
Because you know what? At the end of the day, good always wins, right?
Oh yeah.
Good will always win over evil, no matter how much evil comes into this world.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We will triumph.
Yep.
So I think, I mean, the article's on point, Ayman, with the false reporting, but we did go into tangents.
Yeah.
But we encircled a lot of things that tied right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to do a lot more of that collectively.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's why I said, police leaders, police officers, collectively with politicians, with various groups around the community itself. Again, society. Look inward.
Look inward. Blame yourselves in some of the things that you do in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, as a neighbor dispute, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Absolutely.
That you have to call the police just because your
you
neighbor...
can't be man enough to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of my neighbors I can't deal with.
But here's the thing, though. You can be civil about it.
Right.
There's no need for, well, fuck you, I'm calling the cops then. Like, what are they going to do?
What the fuck are the cops going to do?
Exactly. And we show up and we're like...
What the fuck are we going to do?
All right, go to civil court.
Thanks for keeping me off the air for 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Exactly. Actually, sometimes I don't clear off just to keep myself another 5 minutes apiece.
Whoa.
I know. I'm bad.
Call to call, bro.
I'm bad.
Call the call. Guys, listen. Fuck it. I think this was a really, really, really good episode.
Oh, thank
we
you.
tied a lot of shit in together.
Yep. Squirrel did hit us here and there, but we're good.
But again, we weren't talking about the fucking movie we saw on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
These are all things that tied into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, guys, listen, I want to thank everybody for listening. We need you guys to get on YouTube and hit the subscribe button on there. YouTube is censoring us, just so you guys know. Anything to do with law enforcement. They've been cutting the metrics.
Noticed that.
Big time.
I've noticed that. Yep.
Big time. So get on there and tell them to fuck off and give us a like. We're not in this shit for the money. We need a lot more than a couple of likes for that. So
yeah.
We want to thank our supporters, HavocJournal.com, GymJunkies.com, VectorShields.com, WellnessForWarriors.live, LiveBoston617.org, EagleEyeFirearmsMA.com, ODKit.com, GunTrack.app. Thank you guys. Be safe.
Stay sapient.
Yeah.
Looks good.